Today we're going to be here at Universal Studios, Florida. Hi everybody and welcome to the world of Micah. You know, I've been coming to Universal Studios since I was a little kid, and there are certain things in this park that always make me smile, whether it be a nod to something of the past or something hidden or something placed here that most people don't pay attention to. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. We're going to travel around Universal Studios, Florida today. 10 things that have always made me smile here at Universal. Now before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you want to see more episodes, and also if you would like to support my channel, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/worldofmicah. All the links are down below in the description. But let's get to the video and let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look. Now here's a little tip for when you start your day. Go into the entrance on the side near the Blue Man Group, because usually there's not a long line at the turnstiles to come into the park. Then, right as you walk into the park, you'll be walking right next to the Minion ride. Look up the sign up here, your life could be great, be a Minion. If you really want to be a Minion, you know Minions like bananas. And here at the attraction, they got you covered on bananas because the trees that are right here in front of the queue are actually banana trees. Those are banana trees right there. When I come into that entrance at the former home of the Nickelodeon Studios, I always like to stop by and see those banana trees. Just super awesome detail that they threw in here and made it feel like I really could be a Minion. And usually when I walk into the park, I'll look up right here at the Metropolis Tribune. And if you look at all the windows here along the Tribune, there are different names, and below those names are different things like lifestyle editor, transportation editor, food editor. Well, they're not really editors. That was kind of a play on words for Superman. But all the names you do see up here had something to do with the making of this park. For example, Mark Woodbury. He's the president of Universal Creative. But there are other names all along the Metropolis Tribune here that you should pay attention to. Google those names and see what they had to do with Universal Studios. I like this. Now my favorite place to eat at Universal Studios is the Classic Monster Cafe. And every time I go inside this restaurant, there's something I have to see on the inside that always puts a smile on my face. Head over towards Mansion Dining, and as you walk in, find Dracula's chair. It's upside down, as it should be. Couldn't you see Bela Lugosi just hanging upside down, just as Dracula would? There's something about this. I just always like to come inside and see this. Mr. Bruce hanging here from Jaws. Now this was the Bruce that was in front of Jake's Amity Boat Tours from the Jaws ride. And it's still here after all these years. You can walk up and get a photo. Love seeing this guy, and I had to throw him on the list. I actually did a video not too long ago talking about the history of Jaws. That video will be also in the description box below. Next stop is right here at the former home of the Beetlejuice Graveyard Review. This fountain here is original to the show. This fountain has been here for so long, back when this was the entrance to the graveyard show. Really haven't done much work to it, and there's something else that was also here back when this was Beetlejuice. Not the San Francisco Snacks, which was the former home of Graveyard Snacks, but a little cart right over here. This cart, which at one time was a Dippin' Dots cart, but you can see the colors right here for our good old pal BJ, the ghost with the most. Gotta be careful saying his name. Don't want to say it 3 times. But this cart has been here for a very, very long time, and as far as I can see on the inside, they're still using it, but that's where they would keep the Dippin' Dots and everything, and the signage and everything's still on here, including the shovels. And I'm guessing this was something for like how you would carry a casket. The casket would be in here, the driver and the horses, and that's where they would dig for the grave. And then on this side they had the sign just like they had in the movie saying Beetlegeist, Beetlegeist, Beetlegeist. But this was the sign showcasing what they were offering inside the old hearse. I guess you would call this a classic hearse. So funny to me that this is still here after all these years. But I like to come over here and see these things because it reminds me of a simpler time when Beetlejuice and the Universal Monsters were in control of this place. Not Fast and Furious. I always like to say thank you to Mr. Lew Wasserman, which most people don't really know who this guy is. Some people I've heard think it's Abraham Lincoln, which actually the bust and the body is Abraham Lincoln's. The head is Lew Wasserman's. Other people think he's like the Walt Disney of this company, and he kinda was. Not really, but kinda. Lew Wasserman was the chairman of Universal Studios from March 22nd, 1913 to June 3rd, 2002. Essentially, this man green-lighted for this theme park, Universal Studios Florida, back in the 90s to be created. So we owe everything to this man for being innovative in creativity and his vision for this park to see the light of day. And when you're in Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone, there's two things that's guaranteed to brighten your day. And might I add, these two are for those old school Universal fans. As you're entering into Feifels Playland, pay attention to this newspaper right here. Saying Feifels Playland comes to Universal Studios Florida. Children from around the world vote the Playland the greatest place on earth. Also talks about Tiger saving the day, but this is kind of neat. Little family telegraph talking about Feifel coming to Universal Studios Florida. And before you go into a day in the park with Barney, there's a plaque right over here. If you walk up to, it has the original Universal Studios Florida logo on it. So awesome. It's a nice little plaque here. It's talking about thanking different schools and different people who had something to do with a day in the park with Barney. A lot of these schools are from Florida and different places from around the United States. But I just love the old Universal Studios Florida plaque. I told you it was for old school fans. Stepping down Hollywood Boulevard here. And if you've never been to Hollywood Boulevard, one might think this is the real Hollywood Boulevard. And when they built this Hollywood, they made sure they added one thing that you really could see down Hollywood Boulevard. They put the stars down just like when you're walking on the sidewalk of Hollywood Boulevard. So as you're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, heading towards the Pantages Theater, the home of the horror makeup show, look down on the sidewalks and you can find, possibly could find, your favorite actor or actress. Like here's the Scream Queen herself, Janet Leigh, Robert Ward, Jack Lemmon, Jerry Lewis. And the stars keep going all the way down to Pantages, and they're on either side of the sidewalk, so you can walk across the street towards Schwab's, see a whole nother set of stars. That just makes me smile because when I was little and I would come here, I'd never been to Hollywood, California. So walking down this Hollywood was like the closest thing for me to seeing Hollywood. And when I saw the stars, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just like it is on TV. Before you go and ride Transformers The Ride 3D, right across the street is Bull's Gym. Pay attention to Bull's Gym sign because you'll see familiar face. Bullwinkle. Look at him. I've never seen Bullwinkle with an angry face like that. I didn't know Bullwinkle boxed. You never know. Maybe he saw Rocky, the movie, and was influenced, and now he's a boxer. Which reminds me of my next stop. It's for all the fans of the film Rocky. You can actually get a photograph in front of Adrian's Pet Shop, which is a tribute from the film Rocky. You guys remember Adrian from Rocky? Well, they have created Adrian's Pet Shop, and when I walk down Delancey Street, I always look over at this and kind of smile. Cool little tribute. And there's a reason I did this video. I walk around the parks a lot, and while I'm here, I just look over and see certain things, and it puts a smile on my face. So maybe the next time you and your family are walking through the parks, you'll start to notice these things on your own. And we did it. Our journey is over, and it's time to say goodbye. But if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a big thumbs up. All the links to my other websites are down below in the description box. I'll see you on the next episode, everybody. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.